Almost everyone wants to be happy, but what if making happiness your goal is the very thing that's getting in the way? Have you ever noticed that the more you try to force yourself to feel happy, the more aware you become when you don't? In this video, I will be breaking down why chasing happiness can tend to make you feel less happy. I will also go over the ways that you can work towards a meaningful life over a happy life. And I will be leaving the references in the description box below. The strange thing about happiness is that the more directly we pursue it, the more elusive it often becomes. Modern psychology has a name for the reason this happens, and over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle pointed towards another. Together, they suggest we may have been aiming at the wrong thing all along. Think about something you desperately wanted. Maybe it was a new relationship, a promotion, a new apartment, or finally graduating. Before you got it, you imagined how much happier your life would be. And for a while, it was. Then slowly, it became normal. Hedonic adaptation, sometimes called the hedonic treadmill, is the tendency for people to return to a relatively stable level of happiness after positive or negative life events. In other words, we get used to changes, both good and bad, faster than we expected. This isn't because we're ungrateful. It's because our brains are good at adapting. That's why chasing the next thing rarely produces lasting satisfaction. The question then becomes, if happiness is so fleeting, what should we aim for instead? More than 2,000 years ago, Aristotle argued that happiness was never the highest goal. He identified a different goal, which is often translated as flourishing. Aristotle did not think happiness simply meant feeling good. If you met up with him at a cafe, he wouldn't ask you, "Were you happy today?" Instead, he would ask, "Did you live well today?" Imagine you could guarantee a life that was deeply meaningful but not always happy, or a life that was consistently pleasant but never deeply meaningful. Most people would probably choose the meaningful life, and that was exactly Aristotle's point. He believed that a good life isn't measured by how often you experience pleasure, but by how well you live. In other words, flourishing isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about becoming the kind of person you aspire to be and living in accordance with your values. Think about some of the most meaningful experiences people have: raising a child, pursuing a degree, building a business. None of these experiences are consistently happy. They often involve stress, grief, frustration, uncertainty, and sacrifice. And modern psychology has arrived at a similar conclusion as Aristotle. Research on psychological well-being suggests that living well involves more than experiencing positive emotions. It also includes having purpose, developing your strengths, nurturing close relationships, accepting yourself, and continuing to grow as a person. Ironically, happiness is often a byproduct of living a meaningful life, rather than a result of chasing it directly. Maybe the question we ask ourselves should never have been, "Am I happy?" Maybe it should have been, "Am I living a life that I'd choose again?" Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it helped at least one person.